And then coming up after that is Love is Eternal, which is another
eternal.
side of...
It's a spiritual side, and what it is that the year before I wrote that song, and that was a recent song as well, and I was losing a lot of people in my family. Many of my cousin, who was my age, got cancer, and then my cousin's husband died, and a couple of other people. It was a very bad time for our family, and it made me really think about, the whole idea of when you get to be our age, my age, this is when we start losing people. And so as I thought about it, this song came to me, and I thought, it's not about religion. It's not about, whatever you believe. What it's about is it's about faith. Faith in yourself and faith in why we're all here. And the best thing you can do is look at it from a point of view of let it go. You gotta let it go, because if you don't, it will make you angry, it'll make you, it'll mess you up.
Right.
And so with this song, I wanted to have a chorus, like if I went into a black gospel church, I could hear all these black choirs singing, and I wanted to be uplifting that way. And that's how I wrote it. I wrote it to be very uplifting about death, basically, and about loss. And as I got the project going, the beautiful thing happened, because I had met this amazing musician, Willie Nile. And I love Willie Nile. He's the most soulful guy in the world. Bruce Springsteen, every time he plays, Bruce has him up on stage and sings with him, because Willie is just that kind of guy. And I thought, for that soulful voice, man, I want him in my song. And so Willie agreed to come in and do the chorus with us, and it really makes a big difference.
Nice. All right, and then track number 3, Angelina. Is this a real person, or is this someone?
It is a real person.
Your fertile imagination.
No, it's a real person. Although it didn't happen to me, I fantasized that it would. This is somebody that I went out with years ago in high school. It was one of my first loves. And for some reason or another, it never worked with us. She went off her way, I went off my way. I got married to other people, and so did she. And sadly, she passed away a couple of years ago. But I always had her in my head. And when she was in my head, all I had to do was just think about her, and think about, wow, what would be the great story for us? What would be the great story for anybody who had this situation? And I refer to my past in there. I refer to being young in our youth, but having that second chance and I know so many people like this, very good friends, have met their high school sweethearts years later, when maybe their husbands have died, or they divorced, or when they get back together again, because there's always that connection. And Angelina is all about that connection. You can find love with somebody from the past.
Totally relate.
Yeah.
I Call Your Name. Now, this is not the Beatles' I Call Your Name.
No. This is the only song on the album I did not write.
Who's the author?
Willie DeVille.
Okay, yeah.
Willie DeVille
of Mink DeVille
fame, which was on Capitol.
Right.
It was funny. I like Willie DeVille, and I would listen to his music, but for some reason, I heard an obscure track one time called "I Call Your Name," and I heard him sing it, and I went, "Oh my God, that is the most soulful song I've ever heard." I mean, it is. It was made for a back alley in the, with fog rolling in the middle of the night, and just the most,
lot of drama.
A lot of drama. But one guy, a guy who never really, got a break, who really never found out what he could be or what he wanted. But all he wanted was this one woman with just his passion. But obviously, she was not returned to that. But it's this sorrowful, a bit like Sinatra's Only the Lonely, that album where Sinatra sings all those, destroyed,
unrequited love.
Exactly. This was it, and also the chord structure, the way the song went. I said, man, I got to do this. I just feel it. So I did.
It blends right in with the album. I would be hard pressed to say that you didn't write it. Because it does sound.
And I must say, Chris Masterson plays an awesome guitar on it. I mean, the background, he really gets it right.
It's a Telecaster player.
Yeah.
He plays some really tasty licks on the album. the album closes side one with Soho Sunday Morning.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a pretty heavy song. Is that about a real person?
It is, yeah. Somebody
Tell us that story.
Somebody asked me about the album and said, you know, what was your favorite song? I like them all. I mean, there's one song I like better than another one every so often. But I think as I really look at the album and I look at the craft of the songs that I've written, I must say I think Soho Sunday Morning is my favorite. Because it was one night in the loft in Soho, which is where my gallery is, and I'd spent a lot of years in Soho, and I got a sense of the culture that's happening there, and it's a culture that is evolving and becoming more about how you look and how you dress and your fashion sense more than who you are. You know, it's more of a surface kind of thing. And
the gentrification.
Gentrification, exactly. And I would see, I saw this young girl, she was probably about 19 years old, and she was walking down Prince Street, observing this. And it was one of those nights, it was raining, it was summer, but we had a big rainstorm. And she looked very sad, and she looked like she was walking, and it's true, her heel and her high heel was gone, and she was doing that, you know, that limp twist that women do. And she just looked sad, and she was trying to get a cab, and the cab was going by her and everything, and finally she did get one. And it made me think about my daughter. It made me think, God, if that were my daughter, how would I feel knowing, because, you know, they're not gonna tell their fathers a whole lot about what's going on when they're young, but you do worry about them, you know, because my daughter lives in New York City. She still does. Thank God, she just had a baby yesterday. She's a grandpa. But she lives in New York City, and I always worried about her. And so I wrote this song from a father's point of view to a daughter, and that's really what it's about. And we're a fictitious person, fictitious places. But I sat in the loft that night, and I got my guitar, and I was sitting in there late at night, and it just was one of those songs that just came through. And that's, as any songwriter knows, that's the best song. They just come through you, and you do a little editing.
You just channel it.
You channel it. That's exactly what I did. And it just, and then when we decided to record it, and I knew I wanted mandolin, and I knew Dave was a major mandolin player, so I got David to put that beautiful. I wanted it simple, really simple, and a little harmony mandolin, and then bass. And it just came out really well.
It's a cautionary tale.
Yeah, very much.
And I think the emotion that you put into your vocal really comes across. So it really helps get the message.
Well, I think when writers, you know, that's a great thing about songwriters versus people who are just performing a song, is that a writer is going to go inside and you know, because we're not going to be the greatest vocalists in the world, but what we're going to do is we're going to try to interpret something that came from us. You know, I love, like if I can hear Jimmy Webb's Wichita Lineman, I mean, I love Glenn Campbell's version. It's fabulous. But when you hear Jimmy Webb play it, wow, it really comes from a whole different place. And that's what I love about singer-songwriters.
Do you consider yourself more of a songwriter than a singer?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a little of both. I don't think I'm a great singer, you know, I don't think I'm like, you know, oh man, what a, you know.
Well, you don't suck.
No, I mean, I'm good. I mean, I know I've got a distinctive voice, and I've got a good low voice. As I gotten older, my voice has gotten lower.
You have good vibrato also.
Right, yeah, I have that.
It's like almost like you've taken lessons.
No, never had a lesson in my life.
Well, there you go.
But I do. I mean, I love the idea of not writing it.
Sounds good. Well, on the side too, the first track is like music, like fire. Yeah. Let me try that again.
That's okay.
Like music, like fire.
Like music, like fire. Man, I wrote that song in 2007. I wrote it about a lot of people, but mainly as I worked on it and honed it, I was writing it about, and I really can't. I was writing it about my thoughts at the time of love, you know, and of being excited about being with someone. And my wife Susan is that person, and I really wrote it about her. I wrote about how I felt about her, but I was going through a period of confusion because we were dating at that time. We weren't, you know, engaged or anything like that. So I was also seeing, you know, other people and whatnot. But it was her that came through me in that song. Whenever I would see her and I'd be with her, that's what really came through. And like Music Like Fire is just a homage to a woman you're crazy about.
Yep, that works. I was dreaming.
Yeah.
What were you dreaming about?
Again, that was written again about thinking about past love. Thinking about, I just went through this period in the mid-90s where I was quite unhappy with my romantic life, and I was married at the time, and it just wasn't, for some reason, you know, working. So I was really conflicted, and I kept going back into my head and thinking, oh, well, if I just bring up all the things I would have liked before, you know, I was dreaming, but I wasn't. I was dreaming, but it's really about a real person. I mean, the chorus goes into that, you know, it's not a dream, I just miss you. I want to have that feeling. But really, that's what it is. It's just, you know, it's a fantasy of a guy who is, you know, looking for something more.
But you don't know exactly what it is, necessarily.
Well, I think what it is
what more is.
Well, more, yeah, I do. More was I wanted more out of someone. I wanted to be with someone more than I was. Yeah.
Gotcha. Alrighty, well.
Good therapy stuff.
Yes, I get that. You know, I think since you brought that up, you know, I get that from you know, several of your songs. You know, there's something cathartic about what you're doing, and the expression of these things that
very cathartic time. Yeah.
But I mean, this has been percolating in your head and in your soul for, you know, half a lifetime.
I was dreaming. I started writing that song in 1986, and I never finished. I finally finished it in 2000.
My God, 14 years.
14 years. It didn't, you know. And I always had the ding, 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 ding. I always had that. I never had that E minor and that minor to major thing that I go into.
Yeah, the modulation.
The modulation came to me, and all of a sudden, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that makes the song work.
And it goes into a whole. It resolves the lyric of "I was dreaming about you." Well, now everybody knows. But then they say, you got to get over it.
Right.
You can't get over it. You know, that's what it is.
Yeah, and then Salvation songs.
Yeah, Salvation. I wrote that song in 1973.
73. What sparked that?
The end of the singer-songwriter. What that sparked that was that I felt like we were going from this amazing period of singer-songwriters and writing music into the disco era. You know, music was changing a lot like it is today. And when I wrote the song, "Where Did All the Eagles Go?" The ones that sort of loved us all, we all knew it was right was wrong, and sang Salvation songs. It was like the 60s were leaving us. You know, we were a whole different generation. What we thought was important was, how do we change things? How do we think? How do we make things better? You know, how do we live in a world that is us, not me?
Challenging the status quo whenever it needed to be challenged.
Exactly. All of that. Right. And Salvation songs is really about that. It's just about the idea that, you know, we dwell upon the past knowing it won't last. I mean, you know, we have to put that aside right now. We've had to put it aside. Nobody's coming back up and saying, hey, you know what, maybe that was, maybe they didn't have an answer. You know, I look at it now, this song, and I look at politics today, and I look at politicians, and Salvation songs to me now means that it's like, where did all the Eagles go? They're gone. We don't have them anymore. You know, where are they?
Got a bunch of pigeons.
Exactly. Turkeys.
Turkeys, okay.
Turkeys with wings clipped. Yeah. I mean, it's horrible. I'm thinking of using this song. I'm going to do a video, and I'm going to find all the great people who have enlightened us in the last century, and put this song as a soundtrack underneath it, and just put it out on YouTube.
There you go.
I'll give it to you. Put it on your channel when I get it finished.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Because I'm going to
all
do
the
that.
people that are were inspirational to you, but also to our generation.
Exactly. That were real, that were authentic and real, and believed in what they were doing, not because it was political gain, not because they could, agreed or anything else.
Right.
It was all about the whole concept of us versus me. And if we believe in us, we're going to be fine. If you start believing in me, you're screwed up.
Yeah. United we stand, divided we fall.
Right.
Summer Love.
Yeah. That.
Now that could be a very simple song, but something tells me there's a lot more to it than
well, I guess
we might think.
I have to say, well, that was a tough one. It's about someone I wrote. I actually went to.
Come on, give it up.
I went to Australia.
Australia. Okay.
I went to Australia. I went around the world actually. I went from New York to London to Australia to LA, New York. And I was really crazy about someone. Can't say who it is, but I was really, over my head with. I was in love with it, no doubt about it. And Summer Love is about that. It's about two things. It's about the fact that I was living in New York and it was cold as hell that winter, and I was so glad to be down in the Southern Hemisphere that I wanted to write a song about summer love, because I couldn't literally write it about her. I would be giving too much away.
It'd be too close.
Well, yeah, and I didn't want to do this, so I made her the weather. I made her a climate, a place, but yeah, if you read into it, it's both.
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we won't press you any further about that. Now, Nevada Sky, which is, there you go. There it is. But I totally love the love affair that you have with the West, with the wide open spaces, with the uncomplicated lifestyle. I totally love that, and I think as a title track, it's great. And I was actually kind of surprised to see it at the end of the album, but I think that it works really great as the end piece, as the end cap, if you will, for the record.
Well, it sums up my life because I'm in Nevada.
Exactly.
Nevada is my home, more so than a state. I never look at it, I'm in Nevada or California. I'm in a place near mountains, nature, lakes, and all that. And to me, now in my life, that's where I want to be. That's the place where, I just love the wide open. I've always been a country boy. I've always been a guy that likes that, city. So Nevada Sky was written right after I moved to New York City. And New York City is a wonderful place because I always use the adage, I tell two songwriters, I want you guys to write a song about the ocean. You were going to send to Malibu. Put you in a beautiful beach house, you're going to watch all the sunrises and the sunsets and just think about the ocean and write your song. I'm going to put in a little apartment in Cleveland, Ohio, and I want you to write your song about the ocean. See how does that make you feel? How do you bring that up? Which song is going to be the best song about the ocean? For me, I'm the guy in Cleveland, Ohio writing about the ocean, because when I got to New York, after living in a beautiful country in northern Nevada, the mountains, I got to New York, man, it was becoming a cinemascope for me. I could feel it, I could sense it, I could see it. And so that was sort of my song about, being out there. And it's also the closest song to who I am, because that's really it. And also, I didn't want to be a country song, I wanted to be a cowboy song. Because to me, I'm really more about cowboy songs.
It's more about Western than country.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ian Tyson. I love Ian Tyson, I love all those
Cowboy Poets.
All that stuff.
Waddy Mitchell, all those guys.
Yeah, right, Waddy Mitchell, right. So, anyway, that was what I was going for.
So the Nevada Sky video is really cool.
Yeah.
Tell me how that came about. Who directed it? Who came up with the concept? Where'd you shoot it?
Well, I did it myself. I directed it myself. I shot it.
Well, you have no experience for that.
Yeah, exactly. And Susan, my dear wife, she did camera work. So I said, Susan, you do the camera work. I'll tell we'll just go through this thing. And we shot part of it in New York City, and part of it in. Actually, I cheated a little bit. We shot it in Longtime, California, right by the foot of Mount Whitney.
Okay.
The Alabama hills.
Yeah, cool.
But if you turn the camera around, the mountains on the other side of Nevada. So it's all sort of the same thing. But yeah, we shot in both places, and it's really sort of about, you know, this guy who, you know, he's torn between two places. He loves the city, he loves the life, but he also wants to be back in the mountains. So basically, we shot it that way. And we have one interesting scene though, where, because I know this from working with all the photographers, Joel Bernstein, who shot, I think it was a Neil Young album cover, where Neil's walking along the street. There's a gate, there's a fence, and there's an old woman going.
Oh yeah,
by.
yeah. That's after the gold rush.
It was after the gold rush, and we knew exactly where that spot was in the village. That Joel Bernstein told me exactly where we shot it. But I said, Susan, let's get the camera over there. We took one scene where, and we set up on a tripod, and I said, okay, Susan, I'm going to walk by the camera this way, and you walk the other way, just like that away, but we'll pass right at that point, so boom, we get it right where they were, you know. And then, so we shot that sequence, then we shot a sequence in front of the Cafe Wa.
Yeah.
And we shot one in front of the bitter end. So I want to do like a bunch of these great music places in New York, you know, that you would see all these famous album covers or famous artists or whatever. And so we created that, and then that all transitions to
Nice. Do I have your permission to play it here in the show?
Absolutely. Please do.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to include it, make sure that gets a little bit of a wider hit there.
Yeah, great.
So where do you want to take it from this point? You got the album out?
Yeah.
Any live performing or any?
Well, I did.
Anything other than the videos?
I played.
You did a mini tour after it was released, right?
I played in Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, and I played at the Bluebird Cafe 3 times.
Nice.
They've been very gracious and very nice, and it's my favorite room in the world to play. Historic joint. Oh my God, it's so historic. And the audiences are fabulous. So I was really lucky to be there 3 times, and I'm going to continue. I'm kind of looking at Europe. My record's getting promoted in Europe right now, and it's been on. I just saw on Scotland, and the Netherlands, and Sweden, and all over Europe. So it's getting some airplay.
Well, those guys appreciate authenticity.
They do. Americana's getting very big over
yeah.
there. So
Doug Somm was huge over there.
Yeah.
And you know, of course, he was like the consummate musician. He was, and mashed up, you know, everything from hippie rock and roll, Tex-Mex, you know, the whole ball of wax. So that's great. Well, you got any parting shots, Pete?
Thanks for having me, Stephen. It's been great, man. I mean, you know,
always a pleasure.
We go back a ways.
Well, congratulations on the album. I'm really glad you finally finished it. I remember sitting in your house in Echo Park, Silver Lake.
Yeah.
Way up a hill somewhere, and you picking the guitar.
Bought that house for $67,000, folks.
It's got to be worth about today? 8 gazillion.
2 mil.
Yeah. But I mean, I remember hearing you pick your acoustic guitar, just screwing around and thinking, dude, this guy needs to get serious about it. So
I never could.
It's wonderful to see. It's wonderful to see it come together finally.
Yeah, I know.
And you know, maybe there will be another one at some point.
I am. I'm starting this winter. I'm going to start working on it.
Nice. Well, let me write the liner notes.
All right, man.
All right, partner. I wanted to give a special thanks to Peter Blachley for joining me on this little People's Place sit down and telling us about Nevada Sky and sharing with us all of the heart and soul and time that went into crafting such a fine piece of work. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
Carry on.
Pleasure, man.
All right.